Okay, I just came back to Star Wars: The Old Republic, and I'm playing an agent. I like the class. This is an operative, not the sniper. I'm trying some PvP. I haven't played it in a really long time, so I'm just kind of learning my way back around. They've changed a lot, and really, just my goals is just kind of get acclimated. And I'll talk about the positives and negatives of playing the operative. I'm using the lethality spec, which is it's really for a bit more of an emphasis on ranged poisoning. You don't have to be in melee range to do quite a bit of damage. Um, the operative agent, it's a pretty cool concept as far as classes go because it's basically like a high-tech soldier. And that just for some reason that just works for me. I like bounty hunters a lot too. The mercenary, even though they've got some issues defensively, they're you can do damage at range and just crank it out. And if you play an operative right though, you get a lot of advantages that add up fast. And so in this game, I just kind of got dumped into it, just typical when you're just random queuing solo. And so somebody probably just quit because the team was getting owned, and so I got the privilege of jumping in there. I actually like Void Star quite a bit because it's such a straightforward map, and for this class especially because you do a lot of quick area effect damage. Um, it's a good place to rack up numbers as far as damage goes. So anyway, first thing I want to do is, since I'm kind of making the agent my emphasis here, operative. In this spec, it's got some mostly advantages and really just one big disadvantage, one negative. So first I'm going to go over the positives. The biggest is you can do a ton of damage at range. You can use your basic rifle attack to do some respectable damage even. You use your poison grenade and your poison dart, and you just tag as many people as you can with that. You can do it completely at range, and over time it does a ton of damage and helps your team out overall, especially in a map that has like these congested choke points that attract a lot of action from a lot of people. Apart from the basic ability to do damage, he's got good escapability, as you just saw. He's got that roll move that I'm trying to incorporate in my hotkeys, and it's really good, and it opens up I guess a proc for an instant heal, so that's good too. Um, you've got some stuns. You've got flashbang, which is a crowd stun. I know this is review for a lot of people, but for anybody who's kind of new or a little bit on the edge or looking into play it, this is kind of what you get. Um, you've got a lot of defensive capability. Another big advantage is you can invis, and that's huge in PvP. Um, on this map, it basically just allows you to set up your attacks. You can use it defensively and make it look like there's nobody defending or only one person defending a door. Offensively, you can sneak up and at least lock down one guy while you're trying to get something done, get a door open or something. And you can instantly invis yourself in combat using the screen ability, which I don't, like I said, because I'm coming back, there's so many defensive and offensive abilities, mostly defensive, that I'm just trying to get them hotkeyed and get them lined out. But the DOT damage is really, it's easy to do. It doesn't take much skill. You just hit tab and keep hitting those poisoning abilities. So you've got all the range, the area effect range, and you've got stealth. You can heal yourself and your teammates. You have an instant heal over time spell, that's nice. In PvP, it's helpful, but unless you're dedicating to healing and you're using a heal spec, it's mostly just going to be a benefit to yourself. Sometimes in a major emergency you can do it, and that's a big advantage to playing an agent, or should I say an operative, is that you always have that option to heal, and other damage classes don't. Most of them don't. So that's a good definitely a big advantage. And so when you add it all up, you're getting a lot. I guess it's just a lot to incorporate into your game. The biggest PvP tip for anybody I could ever give is line of sight. Line of sight, line of sight. Always be ducking around corners. That's the hardest teams to beat, are always the ones that are constantly line of sighting you, and you never can finish them off. And that's something I have to work on getting more aware of, because it's huge. Just to be able to block somebody's attack is huge. But something else though that this class is good for is the fact that even if a person line of sights you, you can still get 2 poison damage over time spells on them and keep doing damage. And if they don't get a cure, it's going to really hurt them. And or if they're already hurting, it's going to finish them off. So those are the 3 main advantages. There's other skills. You know, it's really just a matter of working them into your hotbar and being able to use them when you need them. You've got debilitate. You've got tendon slice. You got tons of ways of, I guess, controlling your enemies and controlling a fight. Okay, so for the negatives, really, for me personally, there's only one huge negative, and for this spec, lethality, is you're using your highest damage rifle attack is called Cull, and Cull basically, once you've added your 2 poison dots to the enemy, when you hit Cull, it's gonna give you a burst of an attack. It's an instant attack, and it does good damage. The problem is the range on it. It puts you in, you have to be in melee range to hit Cull. And, well, in this game I call it lightsaber range. So you have to get in close to use Cull. And generally in PvP, when you get in close, when you get into melee range, that's usually when you're setting yourself up to die, basically. I mean, the primary advantage to playing a ranged class is you can work the edges, work the line of sight, and not get stuck in a crowd and have lightsabers getting into you and everybody else piling on top of you. So I really don't understand what BioWare is doing here, because you have a rifle. Rifles usually are long distance. Not as far as a sniper rifle, that's fine, but it should be longer distance than a blaster at least. But yet you're forced to get really close to the action in order to use your highest damage rifle attack. And I can't for the life of me understand it, because it's not just the operative class. It's on the Republic side, you have the I can't remember if it's Commando. I can't remember what it's called, but there's the soldier class, whatever you want to call it, for the Republic, and they've got a rifle too. And it's the same deal. Its biggest attacks are melee range only. I cannot understand it for the life of me. What BioWare was doing. For an agent, apart from the, you can't get in close, and that's fine, but I don't know. I don't understand it. But I mean, really, I guess I would say negative number 2, not such a big deal, is the fact that your quick takedown ability is not as high as it is if you're playing an operative the rogue type of backstabbing type of operative, or the assassin. Those or the sniper. Those are classes that have what I could just call takedown ability, where you versus another player. You know, in PvP, a lot of times strategically, the best thing you can accomplish is to just flat out kill another player. Sometimes it can be to distract them and pull them away from the objective area, but if they're smart at all, they're not going to do that. And like on this map here, the more players you can put back in the respawn pin, the easier and better your chances are going to be of winning the match. And the operative, this spec, it's good for doing a lot of damage to a lot of people over time, but just for pure takedown ability, it's not very good. So that's weakness B, which I would happily take as a negative if only I could stay at range, at true range, not in lightsaber range. So anyway, those are the two biggest advantages and disadvantages, the positives and the negatives. It's not a class where I guess you could say you probably never master it unless you're really, really good and really committed to it, because there's so many options and so many controlling abilities that you can use that there's a lot of potential ahead. So I'm going to plan on continuing this series later and put up more videos of the agent as he does the Shadow of Revan expansion. And thanks for watching.